Looks like.
Okay, let's call a meeting to order. We've all gotten copies of the minutes. Larry, do you have any additions or corrections? Brian? No. If not, stand approved as written. Mary Ann, you want to do your thing?
Sure. For those of you that may be listening in for the first time, or it's been a while, with just a little bit of background. In 2017, the residents of the Newman Lake Flood Control Zone District presented the Spokane County Board of Commissioners with a petition to appoint a Board of Appraisers to reconsider, revise, and/or reaffirm the classifications and relative percentages of the parcels within the district under RCW 8609. The objectives of this reassessment are for the Board of Appraisers to take a fresh look at the parcels contained within the boundaries of the district and determine or reassess the benefits each parcel derives from both flood control and stormwater management or water quality undertaken by the district, and then, based on those benefits, reconsider, revise, or reaffirm the current classifications of each parcel with respect to each of these two purposes. In performing this reassessment, the Board of Appraisers is tasked with identifying every parcel that derives any benefit so that the assessments can fairly distribute the costs of the district among as many benefited parcels as is allowed by law. At the end of this reassessment, the Board of Appraisers will provide the Board of County Commissioners, acting as the supervisors of the Flood Control Zone District, with a new base map and land descriptions outlining the classifications of the different lands on the base map based on their relative benefits derived separately for flood control and water quality. This new base map will be used to levy assessments on those parcels not otherwise classified as non-benefited based on their relative benefit ratios. This is about, anyway, the 11th meeting of the Board of Appraisers, and after collecting background information, visiting the Newman Lake area, and discussing the benefits, they're identifying parcel benefit classification changes for the preparation of the proposed draft benefit maps. The public is invited to provide input on this process either later in the meeting or online on the Board of Appraisers website. And that's all I had. Go ahead, Gary.
Thank you, Marianne. Excuse me. We only have one written comment that came in. Wendy finding that the view is not a benefit and should not be considered. Okay, thank you, Wendy. Do we have any members of the public that want to address it?
I have a note. Gary, we're having quite a bit of trouble hearing you. At least I am.
Listen
I know
up.
we've. Any chance you guys can get closer to the mic or do what you did last time? I don't know what that involved.
We'll try. I don't think they changed the plug-in setup, so we can't move it.
Can I move it a little bit if I'm careful?
Yeah, if you're careful.
Also, did you guys approve the last meeting's minutes?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay. I probably didn't hear that. Thank you.
Gary, say something.
Something.
Is that any better?
Why don't you try that again? Oops.
you hear us now, Marianne?
I can hear you.
This is Reese Sterrett. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great.
Okay, good.
Great, thanks.
Okay, where were we? Oh, public testimony. Do we have anybody that wants to talk to us?
If you'd like to provide testimony, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, or if you're on the phone, press star 9.
Did you get that?
Yeah, he was asking the audience if they wanted to participate.
I'm not seeing anyone raise their hand in the audience.
Okay, I don't hear anyone right now, but we can open it up again later if someone wants to pitch in. Larry, you want to talk about your additions, deletions, start out with?
So these are the changes we talked about last week. And
On water quality or flood control?
water quality. Okay. Yeah, you have no changes on the flood.
Okay.
And I made a map. Thingy. Took at least 2 seconds. And I think that's what we talked about last week, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to verify it.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last week. I had a couple questions. You did not feel that 9076 or 9077 should be included?
Did you want me to share that map on the, is that the map that you sent me this morning, Larry?
Yeah,
Did you want me to put that up on the screen, share the screen, or
Sure.
would that help?
Sure.
Okay. All right, hang on a minute here. Stop, maybe. Sorry here, hang on. Okay. Screen. How do I share screen? Hang on. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. Okay. Is that
yep.
clear? Okay.
So you wanted to ask about 76 and 7?
76, 77 on that side of the road. You did not feel they were benefited?
it's something that I remember we talked about. And I was just trying to do what we talked about in the meeting, and it had been long enough that I didn't remember the detail on that. I looked at it and I thought, well, you just look out over the grassland, you know, and those two parcels don't relate well in any way to the water.
Okay,
What do you guys think?
Do they act more like 9073 and 9098?
I don't know. Where's 9073?
It's
Oh, 90.
right in the middle, right here.
I got it. Okay. So in order, so it seems to me that these houses look this way, that they don't have a view out over the. Still houses on those two pieces.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered. I have a question though.
Well, I don't care. I just,
well,
you
you're
want
most,
to do whatever is right.
you're most familiar with the area.
Yeah.
I'm just asking a question.
And
If you feel that it should be left off, fine with me.
the other question that I had is in going around the lake on these split parcels like this, we try to be consistent with one ratio for the whole property because water quality benefit goes to the whole property. And
Yes, I also thought of that.
this is
Yeah.
a 10% ratio, and I think you're suggesting 60 for this part of each of those properties.
Making it like this,
Okay.
which is like this and this and this.
Yeah, you included all the split parcels, upgrading into one classification.
Oh, so what you're saying is you're making this whole parcel 60, and this whole parcel 60, and this whole parcel 60, or are you doing 10 and 60? That's my question.
You're doing 60 across the board.
I did 60 across the board.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it ends up being 60 across the board,
Either way.
either way.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, okay, that makes sense then.
yep.
I agree with that.
Okay,
Wait, what do you think about these two back down here?
I think it's a judgment call in your opinion. Even though they're oriented this way, I kind of feel like they're still in this grouping of this cluster right here. So you could go either way with it. It's your call.
which parcels are those?
The two you asked about, 7-6 and 7-7.
Yeah, I think it's Larry's call. I could argue it both ways.
I mean, you're including the two next to it, right? This one and
Yes.
this one.
Yes. Well, the piece, the first one, 74, clearly looks at the lake.
Yeah, 7.4 and 7.5,
The
I think
next one-
definitely should be included.
Sort of looks at the lake. Looks to me like they actually have sheds and garages, buildings on the lakeside. And it appears the view comes from these windows on this side.
Okay.
And this side. I actually think that one's pushing it.
I think we're good with it then. I can buy that logic.
Okay, my other question on your, Larry, was 9029.
Where is Diana?
Oh, it's right next to 9073. Mary Ann, can you move that map any further up? It's the right below your red line there at the bottom.
I think the full thing is on the screen.
Right here, Larry.
Okay,
I can pull up the full county map if you'd like, if that would help at all.
Sure, just so everybody can see what we're talking about. We can see it here on our maps.
that is, I just got my cell phone out to picture this.
Okay,
So this is what I'm doing.
okay.
What do you think about 9029, Larry? Right across the road is a 60%.
Okay, can you see the larger map now?
No, we can only still see the one you had up.
Okay,
That's a woods, hillside woods. When you drive it, it's very nondescript because it's just,
okay. Now can you see the county map or?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that
so we talked about this parcel, didn't we?
No. Not that I recall.
it's a big acreage parcel. I can't remember, is it as you go down and you come around that sharp corner, Honeymoon Bay, it seems like it's set way back in there. To me, that parcel feels different than those that you've segregated out west of there.
So you might argue that it would be yellow. See where the yellows are here?
Mhm.
It's similar kind of hillside. Could you go to the assessor's page on that parcel, please?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Could you go to the assessors page? Parcel map, parcel page?
Do
So
you mean Scout, or do you mean a particular parcel? You want the assessor's page for a particular parcel, or?
for parcel 9029, which is below the red dot.
902, oh, this one here, okay. All right. I don't know if you're seeing this though.
Yeah,
Let me, hang on, let me,
I can see the assessor's page.
yeah, so can we.
okay, all
So
right,
let's go
good.
down a little bit. And
I don't know where you wanted to go.
is there a
Structure.
is there a sale on the property, and what about structures on the property?
Okay, let's see.
There was the sale.
1991, I think. it said.
Okay,
Sales, yes, 1991.
okay.
That
was a lot in
There's
91.
a permit for just installation of a cable. I didn't notice any, no, there's no dwelling or structure in the assessors. It's just, it's designated, here it goes, designated forest land. Just land use, land. No dwelling or structures.
Can you go to a zoning page?
I think I can put zoning up on,
Oh, there you go.
let me see if I can put zoning on this map here. If not, I'll go to the Scout. Yep, okay, here we go, zoning.
Maybe they call it land use.
Yeah, rural conservation.
So, yeah,
It's rural conservation. So is all the rest of us. That doesn't help.
No. My goal would be to leave it out the way it is. I think the benefit directed from that parcel is nothing, in my opinion.
Even if we change it, it's assessed like 0. 0 times 0 is not a lot.
All right, let's leave it out.
Okay.
Okay, I think that covers Larry's part of it. Brian, you want to take over?
Sure. So, on water quality, do you want to go to parcel 56105 9050?
560, could you repeat that again? 560,
Sorry, 56105
okay. Okay,
.9050. Okay, so this is a Sutton Bay Road parcel that was assessed at 100%, and it's not on the lake. Last meeting, we recommended that we change it from blue to red. I don't know why I put those ratios in. So it should go from 100% to 60%. I think on the sheet I sent you, Gary, was different. And that should also apply to parcels 9087 directly to the west, 9027 west of that, 9072 kind of north of 9087, and 9049. those aren't touching the lake. I think the water quality benefit is less than 100% on those. I think it should be 60.
So that's the current layers.
And you're thinking, so it's that big parcel with the red around it? Is that the one we're talking about?
Yes.
And you're proposing to change it to
Red.
red. And doesn't it include that building across the street?
No, I don't think that parcel crosses any streets.
The parcel across the street has no number on it.
This one here,
Next to that,
this one.
yeah,
Oh, that's 9049.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's a waterfront parcel.
No.
It's a separate parcel by itself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just showing up with that. We can take the ID off here, parcel.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
So-
I was looking at this incorrectly. Yeah, it was change it from 100 to 60, and that's what I have down on water quality. So that applied to those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parcels.
So that's these.
Yeah. Any other questions about those, or just move on?
Move on.
Okay, if you just drag the page north, Mary Ann. Oh, I'm sorry, up, I guess east.
This way?
No, up.
He wants the map to go up so you can see more to the south.
Yeah, I want to see more to the south.
Oh, south. Okay,
So where the yellow is, there's parcel 9082, 909, and 9092.
yeah, and I have some information on that if you'd
Okay.
like me to so because you had asked about 9082 at the last meeting, correct? That's this parcel right here.
Yeah,
Yes, and I confirmed, and I can show you the that was originally excluded. So here are the original, let's see here, the best one here. Okay, so that's the can you see this, an old print section map?
Yep.
yes,
Okay, so that's the original base assessment map for water quality. And you can see that that's intentionally excluded. So the map was correct. But why it was excluded, of course, we don't have any documentation on, but
Mhm. And I'm suggesting that we include that parcel and the 2 to the south of that this time around in the same 30% category. So currently those are at 0. And I'm suggesting we take them to 30.
I agree.
Okay.
I also, while I'm on the, you'd asked about this parcel here. And And even though the map is showing that incorrectly a split, but it was calculated as this was an entire primary benefit area for both flood and water quality.
Okay, and that, we just want to make sure that is interpreted correctly moving forward, so
Okay,
that was the next one on my list. The next ones would be just 9025, which is right to the west of that one. You see across West Newman Lake Road, you can see the 9025. It's further west.
oh, this one.
Yep. So if you click on that, it spans, it's a split parcel, spans both sides of the road.
Yeah,
I'm recommending that 9025 all the way up to 9014, those parcels are all split. And I suggest we change each of those to represent 100% benefit ratio as it applies to the whole parcel. So
so it's this
I think we
one,
talked about
this
that last
one,
time.
this one, this one, this one, this one.
Before we go on to more, I'd like to go back to one.
Sure. Okay,
Is that it?
no, that's not it, but Larry
Oh,
has a question.
So I was sitting here looking at this,
Mhm.
and with regards to these two,
Mhm.
I drove this road. These parcels through here, they're in the woods,
Mhm.
you know, it's backcountry woods kind of feel. I mean, I didn't get up in here. So I don't know if this is like this or if this is like this. This one's surrounded by, I don't see a reason for it not to be part of this. But I don't know about these.
Can we look at a contour map for those two, and maybe that will shed some light?
Sure.
Can you turn on a contour map, Mary Ann, and then go back to those three yellow parcels we were talking about, 9082?
So go,
Oh, the back to this area here.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And you want some contours. Okay. There's a go here. We'll go with the broad ones first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that was the area you were talking about, right? Is that in the right area?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
so does this look like a hilltop here?
Yeah, see to the right is 2520 right here. There's the elevation right here.
So
And
this,
2480, 2440. So it kind of looks like it slopes kind of that way. And that way. This one slopes that way
24,
down.
Yeah, so, and it's 24, 4 down here. So this is the high,
Yep,
and it's going this way.
it's going both ways, it looks like.
Yeah.
So. I thought I looked at that already, but.
I just don't know.
Well, my,
It's your area, so it's, if that's your
Okay.
feeling, let's go with it.
okay, that's my judgment, so. All right,
I care more that we talk about it than anything
yeah,
else.
sure. The next one is 9048, which is just north of where we left off. You can turn off the contours now too.
Okay. 904,
8. Right there, yep. So this
This one here?
property is a split parcel. And it's got blue on the water. It's got red east of West Newman Lake Road and nothing to the west. And
It's a calico.
yes, Calico. 9049 is the same, and I'm recommending 9051 as well. I'm recommending we change those 3 to all 100% because we're being consistent in that it applies to the whole parcel and not necessarily segments of the parcel. And we had talked about that last time. Still agree?
I agree, that makes sense.
0124, which is just showing at the top of your screen, if you could drag that down just a little bit, is another example of a split ratio blue and red. I'm recommending that we change that to all blue. Same principle, applies to the whole parcel.
What was that number?
0124.
Oh, that's that little hippie commune kind of place.
yeah, that's Twin Cedars condo, and it doesn't show on the maps, but if I'll zoom in here a little bit. So each of these houses have their own separate parcel number. It's a little kind of postage stamp, little piece of land around each one.
Yeah,
And so all of these are classed right now based on this primary benefit.
so is this a parcel where they got to put properties in real dense up close to the water because they left the rest of it undeveloped? Like a cluster zone?
Well, this was before they had that kind of cluster zoning. It's
Yeah.
more of a condo type. Well, they call it a condo. So each parcel. So each of these, even though it doesn't show on the map, each of these have their own parcel designation.
So what about the one to the south, 9051? Is that a separate house? Further south there.
Yes. Yes, that's its own. That's its own separate parcel.
Okay. So can you drag it down a little bit? North?
Go back north.
Yeah. So 07, is 07 part of 24? Not 07.
Oh,
9027 at the top.
yeah, that's a let me zoom back out. Whoops, sorry.
So is that
So
part?
that's 9027. That's in 3 pieces actually.
Yeah, that's coming up next.
Oh. Never mind.
So on that one, it's one parcel, 3 sections, and I made a judgment call that it should apply to the whole parcel. So everything that's white goes to red, and then the yellow area stays the same. So this is one exception to, I think, our rule.
And what's the yellow area?
It's like 10%.
And is that part of,
I think it's because it's ag land. It's more of a,
is it part of that
Pasture.
conservation zone?
it's like that, but it's not in the conservation zone. So that's my suggestion on 9027.
And there's one house on it?
I don't think, I think it's vacant now. It recently sold and there's not a house on it. But it appeared to have sold as though it's a home site type property.
Well, it has some sort of a structure on it. I don't
I
know.
think
if
it's a
that's
shop, it's a shop building. Like a pole frame building, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there it is.
Mhm.
And it looks like there were houses at one point. There's open space.
Yeah, there could be a pad there or something that was on the ground. Either a home or maybe a tent. See that flat area?
Yeah, and then down along the yellow, there's a spot that looks
Is
like
there?
it could have been housing. See that up in the corner?
Yeah,
No, that's field. Can you take the yellow off for a second?
Sure.
Well, I have no idea what part of that's not, that all looks like the same thing to me.
mhm.
And it looks like a stream comes down through there.
Or possibly did. It may have rerouted up above where those squiggles are.
You know, it also looks like there's a swamp in there behind a little bit of a high land with trees on it. You can see the shadows
Definitely,
coming back across it.
definitely slopes down to the water there. Yeah, I think the benefit of that flat area is a lot less than the benefit to the upper areas.
So this seems like a natural or a man-made dike. And this a marsh area here. And then I know that slopes down from here to there. And this looks like a stream.
Mhm.
I just put the 2-foot contours on. Took a little while to come up, but
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so it's within 4 feet of lake elevation. It's like. Yeah, so that's my suggestion on that.
So say it again.
Change the undesignated areas to red. And leave that area next to the lake the same at 10%.
And the thinking on that is it has less residential utility.
Less benefit. I think the ag land has less benefit from water quality than the other portions of the property, which are more residentially oriented. I think.
Yes, it makes sense.
Good view.
Okay. You might type this in, Marianne. It might be easier to get to 560.
okay. 560
32.0502.
2 0502.
Correct.
Isn't it amazing we have the technology to do this?
So currently, this is a parcel that touches the water and it's a split designation. And to be consistent with our theory, instead of being both blue 100% and red 60, I'm suggesting it all goes to blue. And that should apply to the 2 parcels that are to the west of that as well. So 0113 and 0504. Both of those are split benefits.
So when we get done with this, will we have eliminated all the split parcels?
Maybe. We'll be real close. Agree on those?
Yep.
And then if we go to, 56032 9035. Same concept there, 2 benefit ratios, 1 parcel. And I'm saying let's make it 1 ratio instead of 2. 9053.
Well, but that building has a neat set.
Yeah, I reckon it's one. Where's 9053?
It's the second one down from the neat one.
905, oh, this one here,
Water. Yeah.
this one there.
Yeah, 9053, same concept there. And then the last one is 90, it's a new prefix, sorry. 56096.
What don't, wait. What about 064, just to the right of your mouse?
It's a single parcel in one ratio.
And okay,
You see that?
I see that. I was thinking about it being joint ownership, even though it's a separate parcel in joint ownership.
I didn't check the ownership.
It's kind of got 3 pieces.
Yeah, and is that all one big piece with 3 parcels? Who owns 64? Who owns?
William, well, you can see that there, I think.
Yeah.
William
Okay.
L. and Jacqueline K.
Who owns the one to the neck, to the left, or the right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
William L. And this one is William L.
And what about the one that ends in 65? To the left, the big one.
It's a different owner.
Mhm.
That's, let me zoom out so you can look at that one. That's
So that's an interesting thing.
this one. That's this here. Yeah.
It's one piece with different lots.
The one in the red has a different ownership than the other 2, even though it's the same last name, William L on the 2 waterfront ones. The other one's William L plus another person. My philosophy is that we go by parcel and not by owner. Because we don't know how it's being used. You know, are these being used as 3 separate properties or?
Well, it can also be sold separately.
Correct.
And it has a road to it.
Correct. That's why I suggest leaving it the same.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. All right, my last one is 56096.
096.
0.9027.
Nine zero one
27.
27.
Yeah, and this is another property with split ratios. I'm just suggesting we clean that up and make it 1 ratio blue to be consistent. And that's all I have for water quality.
Okay.
I don't know if this would be an okay time, but we did you had submitted the list prior, Brian, and or we could forward this to you separately, but um, when we reviewed it, we came up with a couple of questions on parcel numbers,
Okay,
and I can pull that up here. Let's see, maybe Derek, you can help. Was it the red ones that you had a question on the parcel number? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Go
correct.
ahead.
It might be typos.
so let's start with water quality. What's the first red one down there?
96-105-9049. So we want to check that one.
Well, we just went over that one and it's on the map. Oh, sorry, no, it's wrong. It's 56044.
So it's, let's see, let me go back to the list here. um 90, let's see, I'll copy the number. Put in.
That's right there.
So
56044.
56044
Yep,
9049.
9049. Yep.
Okay,
So I'll make that change and make sure.
okay, okay. We'll just forward you this back where he's got his highlights, and then you can make sure that got the right parcel numbers on those.
Okay.
Forward it back to you.
For flood control, I'll give you a number to type in.
Okay,
56105 9050. It should be right by Sut Bay Road there. Same parcel as water quality. This has got 100%, or sorry, I get these confused. Are you there? Okay.
so I put the flood, the current flood benefit area layers on, so.
We talked about this last time. The blue 50% flood ratio is applied to properties that touch the water. This property may have touched the water at one time, but it no longer does. So I'm suggesting that we take it from the 50 and go to 10%, which is the red, and more consistent with the other upland properties. And this would apply to 9049, 9072, 9087, and 9027. I think you agree with that, Gary? You agree with that? Okay. Wanted to catch it. The next one is 56102 9078.
Um, 561029078. Oh,
Yeah.
wait okay, I'm sorry, I was headed on 56.
9078. And yeah, these are 9078 and 77 are right next to each other. Both are upland parcels. The same concept.
No support of Sutton Bay Resort.
Well, they're either accessed off Sutton Bay Road or West Newman Lake Road. I'm not sure,
Mhm.
but they don't go down to the water. So that was the same as last time. Next one is 56044. $9051. Another split benefit parcel. I think should be changed to one. One ratio, take away the red, go to blue. And then 0124, just north of that, same concept.
Okay.
The few more here, 56041. Nine oh three three. Oh, you got 9032. We're
I think that's 560419032. Is that what you wanted?
yeah, 32 and 33. They're right across from each other. I'm suggesting that we take those into the red 10%, just like those surrounding it. So go from 0 to 10%.
This is out on that point.
Yeah, it's on the west side of Peninsula Drive, off of Coleman Road. The next one's 56096. $9027. So it's a split ratio, and I think we take it all to the blue. 56044. $9048. And this one, I'm suggesting that we take everything east of the road, east of West Newman Lake Road, and make it 50% instead of the split. And the same with 9049, it's directly north of that. And they'll have two more, and then I'm done. 56041. $0504. Same split ratio. And then the one to the east of that, 0113, split ratio. And I suggest that we change that to all blue, 50%. And that's everything that I have.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
So there's a couple that got to wondering about as you were
Uh-huh.
winding up. Marianne, can you go down to Honeymoon Bay? Okay. And zoom out there. See right by the word Bay Road? The red. See the red parcels, those houses?
Yeah, this here, this area here where my pointer's at.
What do you think about making those blue?
Well, they don't have direct lake frontage. They're separate parcels from those that do. They're split by a road.
Yes.
I think it's fine the way it is.
Could you blow it up just a little bit?
I'm sorry, what?
Could you zoom in just a little bit?
You bet.
And that parcel 0501, could you click on that?
Oh, 5, this one here.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought maybe that was communal property. It feels like
yeah,
the houses, when you drive by them. We lived on Vashon Island for a while on a property like that.
mhm.
And for all intents and purposes, it was waterfront.
Yeah, no, I'd agree that they feel like waterfront, but I guess my logic would be the benefit to those left of the road is less than the ones to the right of the road. And since we only have so many ratios to use, and we've used 100% for the ones right of the road, they have to be less than 100. And I think our next,
So what is parcel 0511? Who owns that?
Let's see here.
are you talking water quality or flood?
Quality. Oh,
Yeah. So,
who owns 0405?
same guy.
That's a split parcel.
No, two different parcels. Two separate parcels, 405 and 511.
I know, but it functions like a split parcel.
Sure does, yeah. You got any thoughts on that one, Gary?
Pardon me?
Do you have any thoughts on this property is two parcels owned by the same person. Larry is asking if we shouldn't consider this blue like this. It acts like a waterfront parcel. And for that matter, these as well, even though they're across Honeymoon Bay Road from the lake.
If that was the ocean instead of a lake, they'd be having to deal with saltwater spray, you know?
Sure.
Are there two separate tax parcels?
Yes.
Well, I don't think ownership means much. I think we tax them according to parcel numbers, because they can be sold separately.
And I'm in agreement with that.
I see that argument. At the same time, if I own that piece of property, I wouldn't sell that lot in front of me and get a house built on it for nothing.
All right. Right.
It functions as one piece, even though it's,
And there could be dozens of that type of scenario around the lake.
Mhm.
so you feel like it's okay, both of you do?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it really, ties into what we consider the larger parcel and appraisal. They're they would definitely be separate larger parcels.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through my list. Why don't we take about a 15-minute break here
Okay.
before we get into that.
All right.
Okay, let's go through my stuff.
We used to get in the boat, go across the lake, go to buddies. I
Mhm.
have a friend, we used to do that every 2-3 weeks.
Oh, that's,
Flood control, I have no additions or deletions. Water quality, no deletions, but I do.
Wait a minute. Hey, are we online?
I think so.
Yes,
Okay,
Is Mary Ann back, or do we want to look at the map, you think, Gary, or?
Probably, yeah, let's wait till Mary Ann gets back. Can you hear us, Mary Ann? Can you hear us, Mary Ann?
Yes, yep, very good.
Okay, we're gonna go through my list. Flood control, no additions or deletions. Water control, I've got some additions. Start out on the south end of the east side. 9027 and 9029 on the Hauser Lake Road, just to the east of the intersection. I'm saying add those to a 10%. And then along East Newman Lake Road, I'm adding everything that has primary access to East Newman Lake Road. Start out with 56023, or excuse me, 29,
9029?
9029, yeah. 30%,
there are new additions.
Yeah.
56023, 9060 at 30%. 9061 at 10%, being farther removed from the lake, but yet still has primary access to Newman Lake Road.
So what's 10? So are you saying on 9090, is it 0901? Was that the last one you just mentioned?
0901. Or excuse me, 9061.
Okay, yeah. 9061, okay.
Okay, then we jump over to 0901, 30%. And all of them along there with primary access and view and stink factor are 30%.
The stink factor.
Yeah, the stink factor. If there was no water quality issue, it'd be a big cesspool.
Hey,
So could you just read off the last four of those that you're adding? Is it 1002? Or is that one included?
1002, yes.
9069,
9069,
0409
0409
and 9001.
9001 at 10%.
Okay.
And 9007 at 30%. 9012 at 30%. And 9027 at 30%.
I see no argument there. Seems consistent with the, what we've done all the way around the lake.
And that's it for my changes.
Did you mention this parcel and this parcel?
Yes.
Okay.
And no water quality deletions. And Mary Ann, if we get all these changes to you, you mentioned you would, it would like at least a couple of weeks for mapping.
Yes. One thing that I would like to just kind of confirm, are you proposing to keep the same benefit areas? And let me bring those up here. Benefit percentages, I guess, is the best word for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided to have no new additional areas. And I don't think we have any changes to the existing ones.
Okay, so basically this is kind of a summary of what we have now, and so those will apply. So when we see your percentages in there, those will be the same class numbers and in your list there. This is what you're referring to, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So let me ask you, do you think we're missing something? Should we reconsider something?
Well, that's totally up to you. I just wanted to make
Well,
sure.
I know it's up to us, but have you got any input that we should listen to?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a question on the sheet that you're presenting now. I think we agree with column 1 and column 2, no changes there. Where did column 3 come from? The general description.
That was part of the list that was provided with the resolution.
Okay, I think,
And that was what we, put into the policy and procedures manual, but that was, yeah.
there's a couple things that stand out here for me that I think I'd like to take a little time to see if it's consistent with at least my thinking, and then we get some agreement on what these definitions are. For example, tertiary underwater quality class 3 tertiary lots, parcels smaller than 10 acres on the main road circling the lake, within a half mile of the lake. So to me, this is the first I've seen of this, that the previous appraisers did a location. They mentioned location and size, and I think we need to consider that or look at it. Maybe we can redefine or summarize what our thoughts are on each of those things as well.
Can we change those definitions? Sure. The general descriptions?
Oh, yeah, we have the authority to do that, and Mary Ann, can we each get a copy of that?
Sure. Yep, I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, it's not gonna change any of the classifications, but the definitions may change, and we probably each have some input into what those definitions should be.
Right, and I can think of at least 3 parcels that are over 10 acres in size that are tertiary that wouldn't meet this definition. So I just want to make sure that our definition matches what we've done. Or if we use this definition, maybe we need to pull those out. It's whatever we decide.
Well, Brian, you get the most parcels. Would you be in charge of working on those definitions?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to be out of town from the 7th through the 19th. So if we get these to you, Mary Ann, and we get together again on the 27th of April, is that enough time to do your thing?
Oh, you're talking about getting a draft map together?
Correct.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You should be able to even get it emailed to you a little ahead of that, so you could, probably take a look ahead of time too.
The other thing of major importance is that formula for determining the assessment. We have given you a copy of that, and probably the only variable on that is whether we use market value or assessed value, which really is up to the opinion from the Attorney General. But either way works for me. I personally think it should be market value, but if the AG says no, it's got to be the assessed value, then so be it. And we provided you with that formula, right?
Make sure I understand what formula you're talking about.
Well, we're using the formula for the split parcels
Oh,
on, I think we've cleaned it up as far as water quality goes, but as far as flood control goes, there's still going to be some split parcels, and we use value rather than area.
got, okay. So, so you're requesting that we do the calculations based on the value of the area of the specific area that's identified within that benefit area. So if it's a split parcel, we would need a land valuation and a structure valuation specific to those 2 pieces. Is that?
Yeah, we don't need 2 land values, and talking to the assessor, he's got 2 values, one for the upland parcel and one for the waterfront parcel. And so we need to get those and plug those into the formula. And whether it's market value or assessed value, like I say, whatever the AG says, we'll live with.
Make a suggestion that once the maps are updated and we have our ratios, the ratios need a formula to go with it. And so I say that we put together a letter that identifies the ratios, re-identifies the formula, and kind of puts it all in one package so that it's
What formula?
the formula for the split parcels.
Okay.
What do you mean by ratios?
The benefit ratios. So we have the ratios.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna re-recommend the same ratios. I'm just saying, let's put it all in one letter addressed to Mary Ann and the Board of County Commissioners, so it's all in one package and that Mary Ann's not having to piece it together. So everybody's on the same page. We have ratios, we have formulas, we have map areas. It's all tied into one thing. Does that make sense or not?
Well, I think the ratios are gonna show up on the map.
Right.
And I don't know that we need to itemize parcel by parcel.
No, that isn't what I mean. I'm just saying, if there's a split parcel, conceptually, you would use this formula for that, the formula that you came up with.
Okay,
Yeah, just so that it's clear and that we're identifying the formulas based on the area or on the value, not on the area. Just so it's all tied together. So it's
Just have a paragraph. that
Yeah.
gives us split parcel.
yeah, it's just not open for interpretation. It's clear that these ratios should apply to the values where they lie and not by an average of the parcel or an acreage or anything like that. That was something that was pretty clear when we got into this, that was not fair to a lot of those properties.
okay, I can do that.
So something that I didn't really think much about until we start questioning the definitions. These areas in here. This is a flood map.
Mhm.
That's 10% area. Why? Why is that not?
That's what I think we need to go back and look at their definition that they used, and then we look at what we used and see if they still jive.
It might be that flood control seems more on and off. Either is or isn't. And they have distinguished between lower parcels and upper parcels
Mhm.
as, and I think that's because this land was created by the dam, so to speak, which I didn't get initially.
Mhm. And that area would be flooded if there wasn't a dam.
Would be flooded if there wasn't. I don't think so.
Yeah, we talked about that because the basin would fill up deeper if there was no dam there naturally. So now,
If there was no outlet, you mean?
correct, yeah. This land was created because of the flood control district. And so it's a benefit. It's
So that assumes there was no way out for the water.
which there wasn't at
It
one point.
wasn't,
Yeah, it was just a basin. Kind of like a bathroom sink.
That's a very unusual
It
situation.
is. So I've got my thoughts, but I'd like a chance to gather those before I comment on the general descriptions of each ratio.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any members of the public that want to address us?
You probably, we changed some of these in here for flood control. I mean, for water quality.
Both. Is anybody, Ron, is anybody showing interest in speaking?
Doesn't sound like it. Anybody have anything else you want to bring up?
I don't.
Actually, there is someone who's raised their hands in the audience, so to speak, if you are still interested in.
Sure, sure.
I'll promote them.
Can you hear us, Juanita?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Okay. So I have a question, since you're talking about the flooding on, you were pointing to the south end of the lake, and I heard you say that you, I don't know if I understood it right, you adjusted their benefit value or something, but I wanted to know if you guys have been told about, you're mentioning there's an outlet to the lake and it never used to be there. And so have you been told the history when it goes back to the north end of the lake, when the Corps of Engineers dug the ditch that is now Thompson Creek?
No, tell us about that.
Okay, so you were pointing to the, if somebody could put the map back on so I could see where you've got your map there.
Hang on one second.
All I see is my name. Okay, so you were, this is a few minutes ago, you pointed to the north end of the lake. I think it was the north end.
The yellow area at the north end,
And you were,
gold, I guess,
well, the Thompson Creek's at the north end, so.
right?
And you were saying that, part of the land never used to be there. So if I only see in the south, I can't tell if oh no, here's the north end. You're oriented it different for me. Okay, so the fields that you see around the north end of the lake, that used to be lake. That was all Newman Lake. And where Muzzy Road goes, the lake used to go right up to it. Muzzy Road never used to be there years ago.
Oh,
They had to travel back behind. I don't know our parcel numbers, but they had to travel back behind like the Balcomb's house. I'm one of the Balcombs. But they had a little wagon trail that used to take them up around the lake. They had to go up around and behind in the mountains to get back in there. And you couldn't, you had to boat around there. There was no lake. So when the Corps of Engineers came in, and I hope I have this correct in my history, but when they came in and they put in Thompson Creek, because all those fields at the north end of the lake, the water used to come just down and filter through all those fields. And then when the Thompson Creek went in, that created a direct flow of water and emptied out the fields. So that is how I believe a lot of the phosphorus they were talking about that didn't used to get into the lake came in. That's one of the major contributors to our phosphorus, along with the other septic systems and such. But so they did away with the lake on that end of the lake. And I don't know how that affected the south end of the lake. And I believe through time, the farmers on the south end of the lake wanted to farm those fields because they would flood every spring. And so that's when the ditch and that original first dike came in, or gates, or what we used to call it, the gates, I guess, so that they can control it. And then the water went down the ditch and followed into the sump in Moab, down by Moab, where the gas station is down on Star and Trent.
Right.
And so when that happened, and then they used to use that ditch also, it used to irrigate the water down in Otis Orchards. And that was, helped kind of control that level of the lake, I guess, also. And then I think when Moab water came in, they said they didn't want that water anymore coming down through from the Newman Lake. And then they had to create, another avenue for that water to go. And then it's just continued since then. And we had to, you had to make it a little bit better or change it a little bit more. And then eventually the new gates, or whatever, you guys have a special name for it, but the new gates over there by Cherokee Landing went in. And then the lake used to be adjusted at certain levels. And then we started getting more and more people out at the lake that wanted the lake adjusted for their beaches because they didn't like the water being eroded on their beaches. And every time that got adjusted, it affected the fields and the farmers' fields. So when they wanted to keep the water on the beaches higher on the north end, our farm fields, we could never get in and farm and harvest that hay. And at the appropriate time, we always had to harvest it after it had gone to seed, and it didn't have much nutritional value in it. And so we're at the mercy on the north end of them maintaining that gate. Excuse me? Oh, such as, what do you mean? Such as what? On the north end? When they hold the lake up so high in the spring to maintain the water, our fields are flooded. And last summer was the first summer with the drought that we were able to get in for many years and finally do our hay at the appropriate time. This year, I don't know what went on with the gate, but they held the water very high in the ditch that's parallel to Star Road. And we don't have very much water in our fields this spring. So I don't know if that's just catching up from the drought last year. I don't know what that's from. But those fields that you're seeing now dry used to be part of the lake. And through changing the course of the landscape, has affected all of those fields for over the last few years.
So did the fields go up past Muzzy Road? Did the lake go up past Muzzy Road?
And before the Corps of Engineers,
Uh-huh.
well, it would have been, I would say the fields that border the lake. I mean, I was not out here. I wasn't alive. I did not live out here. I came out in like 50, let me think, 53, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 58, our family moved out here.
Uh-huh.
So those fields were there when we were here. The road was there. And so I can't remember what year the Corps of Engineers, it's in all of our, like maybe the watershed. I don't know, it's in some of the studies that we've done. I'm not sure what year the Corps of Engineers did the change of Thompson Creek and change fields on the north end. And then, of course, the fields on the northeast side, those, when those flood is directly related to how the water level is maintained. If they're not paying attention and don't maintain the water correctly, our fields flood. And I know that on the south end of the lake, there was quite an extensive study just recently, because there was talk that maybe they would remove that whole dam on the south end of the lake, of that dirt that's piled up on the south end. And they were trying to figure out what the consequences and what would be flooded if that were removed. And they showed in that study that it would flood all the way down into the Moab district, Moab town down there where the trailer court is, and it would just be rushing right through their trailer court. So we do have some things to consider for flood control. I realize that. And so I don't
In the
know.
old days, was there an outlet to the lake?
Pardon?
In the old days, before the dam, was there an outlet to the lake?
I don't know when they started using you'd have to look or ask, Marianne might know the history. You'd have to ask them when they started with a ditch for the farmers on the south end wanted to control that water so they could farm the fields. And they did have an outlet when they were sending water down for irrigation in Otis Orchards, because they used that ditch to get the water down there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that ditch was created for that. That I don't know. You'd have to go back in the history and find that out.
Well, you know, the way that it developed and the way the lake was before the dam was completely different than I had imagined. It's been fun to learn about how it actually was.
Okay, thank you, Juanita. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else, Ron?
They knew my name. They knew my name because I had to log in with.
Not seeing anyone raise their hand.
Okay.
I didn't hear that. What did you say?
Is it obvious to you why this would have less benefit from flooding than this?
Well, I think it goes to, my initial observation is this. Because this is definitely protected from the levee. And like Juanita said here, depending on the lake level and how the gate is regulated, it could be wet or it could be dry. Some years it's wetter than others. And they may be able to farm it, they may not be able to farm it. So I think the benefit is less here than it would be here.
Because you're always able to farm below the dam.
I agree.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, I don't know if,
I wrestled with this. This makes no sense to me at all. These things.
Okay, if each of you could get an updated list, Marianne, of parcel numbers and basically what we went over today.
Okay.
Marianne, a hard copy of it, and we will get back together on the 27th of April.
What time and where did you want to do in person at 9 or go kind of back to the regular format, or what's your preference?
I think we should probably meet here again because we're gonna have revised maps. Take a look at that. What do you guys think?
that's fine. Works for me.
Is this a strain for you guys?
No, it's fine. Whatever works good for you. We'll make happen. Did you want some paper copies of those maps
Please,
in your for your 27th meeting? Okay. All right.
I think that small 11 by 17 map works for me. I don't need the large ones.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Okay, anything else we need to consider?
And one quick question. Are you going to have updates too, Gary? You had sent me something a couple of weeks ago, I think, but
Am I gonna do what?
are you going to have updates to what you had sent me a couple of weeks ago? Or are you sending me something new, or are
Yes,
you good?
I'm going to update it.
Okay. All right. So 9 o'clock on the 27th at your Campbell's again.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I hear a motion to adjourn.
Said Mary Ann?
Yeah.
I really see a benefit to coming down to Campbell's. I appreciate the fact that you guys put the bill for it.
Okay. Good.
I make a motion, we adjourn?
Okay, Larry, second.
Yep.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Well, see you guys in a